Hello, hello. This is your host, 5 minutes or less review. And today we're not going to be doing a 5 minutes or less review. Let's just get that out of the way. Today we're going to be talking about almost everybody's favorite. And I am not going to sit down and provide you guys with a lot of clips about solo leveling. I'm not going to do that. No way, siree. I am not doing that, guys. Because I believe that anybody who is searching for solo leveling at this point already knows what solo leveling is, and I believe that at this point you already have something at the back of your throat that is itching, really itching right there. You can't really put your finger on it, but you know it just doesn't feel right, and as a result of that, you're looking for a video like this that basically says solo leveling is currently sucking right now. And you're not alone. A lot of people, including myself, when I first started watching solo leveling, it had almost a closeness to One Punch Man. I kind of figured out it was gonna get there, but not at the pace it did. Most of the time, we try to look for that Naruto, One Piece, a couple of other characters like Berserk. Just seeing how a character grows and enjoying that growth form and seeing how this person continues to deal with issues that challenges him or her in certain ways that allows them to grow, and then you see how they handle the next problem using some of the lessons they learned from the previous mistakes or near-death experiences. And you kind of feel that way the first first kind of episodes of solo leveling, and then after that it goes away. With the new season out, you no longer have that feeling again. It's more like a One Punch Man kind of feel where he's just unstoppable, and you have no fear of him dying. And that's where the story is kind of going, to the point that I am beginning to feel that we are going to go back to the rinse and repeat kind of format, especially when the story itself does not have depth. So I'm going to run through a couple of problems that I have seen with this solo leveling anime, and why I think you're getting that itch. The first thing is, you know what? Before I get there, I just want to make this rapid announcement to everybody out there. I have been a proponent of having anime and manga or manhwa in a different kind of tone. That means what you see in the manhwa shouldn't be directly translated into the anime. Directors need to have some kind of licensing and control in which they take lead on adding meat in certain places in a manhwa or a manga. The reason for this is because if I am an anime person, if I'm a manga or anime drawer or a cartoon drawer, I am not gonna sit down there and try to write out or draw out every scene that's gonna happen, in a fluid kind of motion kind of media or medium. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use static images. I'm going to put in certain places where they are blank. We just put a lot of wording. And many at the time, when it comes to manga or manhwa or comic books, it's often best to, how would I say, not fill the readers with so many words, because when you have so many words, you might as well just write a novel. The whole purpose of keeping the words short and sweet and with pictures is to keep the reader engaged. And with time, the reader itself is going to take their mind away from the comic book, feel a lot of stuff in their head, and they're feeling the scenes and they're feeling things at the back of their head, and they're making up the scene as they go, and they're filling it up with what you have on the paper. And because of that, you keep them engaged, and sometimes you put them into this so-called trance of trying to get a movie going at the back of their head. But when you fill the paper up with so many words, or you fill the manga or manhwa with so many words, people are like, Am I reading a novel here? I mean, am I trying to read paragraphs here? I'm not trying to read paragraphs. I'm trying to go from scene to scene to scene to scene. But somebody who is doing an anime needs to understand why comic books, manhwas, mangas actually have low amount of communication. And that is for one thing and one thing only: to keep the reader engaged. When it comes to a fluid medium, you have to write it out almost like as if you're writing a novel. Let the conversation flow. Let the movement on the screen flow, so that somebody can feel like as if they are looking at a real life movie here, not dealing with a manga with such subpar communication. And so I'm going to move to my first problem with this show, and that is the conversation and the communications are trash many of the times. They are really trash. I mean, you have seen the way sometimes the way they converse. It's, I'm the good guy, you're the bad guy, let's fight. Or I'm the good guy and you're a subpar person, I'm not going to take nonsense from you, and I'm gone. You know, it has this so-called I'm going to ignore you kind of vibe, or I'm not going to talk to you kind of vibe, or I'm just going to say what's on my mind and walk away kind of vibe. Like, it has that kind of vibe. It doesn't feel like there's any back and forth motion, you know. It's more like, I'm the tough guy, you're the little guy, get out of my way kind of situation. And that, to me, it just has that manga feel to it rather than just having a smooth distance. That's why even the Berserk series suffered from this nonsense. Many other shows that have been coming out in this new age are suffering from it. If you look at the Berserk in the 1997 version of it, you see how the flow was. Directors were taking charge. And in as much as some people don't like it because they want their manga bullshit or whatever it is, but let's be frank here. Giving a show some kind of an organic feel is very, very important to keeping people engaged when it comes to the medium, which is the show medium, as opposed to the manga or manhwa mediums. And we have to be very, very careful, especially the directors, you know, in the way in which manga is transferred over to the big screen or to anime or to movies. In as much as people love the manga or the manhwa, you have to take the good things. You have to look at the manga or manhwa as how would I say, a backbone, a direction, like kind of, okay, we are moving in this form, you know, this way, but you gotta fill things up with meat and potatoes to just pad it up a little bit. And that's why when you look at the story, and this is where we're actually going to go to the second part, is the story is rushed. If you look at the whole thing entirely, you find that there's just so many jump cuts after jump cuts after jump cuts after jump cuts. There's just so many jump cuts in the show. So many of them. And I am sick of it. Of these directors treating us like as if we all have ADHD or ADHD, right? Like, like, respect your audience, man. Respect your audience. Like, don't jump from one place to the other and so on and so forth. Don't do that. Just let it flow, man. Let the scenes flow. Wherever that 30 minutes end, let it end. You know? And I would say this. Like, throughout the shows, yeah, sure, they have made a habit of sometimes, you know, ending us on a cliffhanger that actually, like, keeps us, you know, like, guessing what the next situation is going to be. I mean, I can understand that. But sometimes you can actually, I would just say, change the run time to maybe 43 minutes or 35 minutes in order to get to those cliffhangers if you must. You know, it's not the cliffhanger that keeps us going. You got to remember, it's a full story. Wherever you stop, you stop. You know, don't keep the cliffhangers going on. Like, people can actually see a great story and enjoy a great story regardless of where you stop the show. Stop creating cliffhangers. I mean, there's a nice way of creating cliffhangers. You know, you can do a jump cut to create a cliffhanger. and then we can all say, "Oh man, I want to know what's going to happen." You know, you can do a jump cut. I can understand you cutting like a part of that story to do a rushed aspect in order to get us a cliffhanger in there. And I'm like, oh, whoa. Now I need to see that show. Now I need to wait the 1 week in order to see this show. I mean, you can do that, yeah, sure. But it shouldn't be. Most of the stories feel rushed. They're just moving from clip to clip to clip to clip to clip. And this is where I'm going to bring in my third problem. My third problem is most of the side characters are all rushed. You heard me. They are all rushed. We don't know anything about many of these people. I mean, in the first season, we kind of got an understanding of what some of the characters that survived the dungeon with him, are like. What was going through their mind and so on and so forth. And when I was looking at the show, I felt in season 1, I felt like it was going to give us that feeling of what was this show again? It's called Gans. You know that Gans where you have these things that are just repulsive, things were happening, you have to figure things out, there's a possibility of death, there's this, there's that, not everybody surviving, and so on and so forth. That was what I felt this show was going to be in the initial phase, whereby the character is struggling, he's trying his best, he's doing all these dungeons, he's growing, he's testing things out, and so on and so forth. And through all our struggles, we get to see this so-called badass John Woo, or whatever his name is, Mr. Woo. Badass Woo. At the end of the day, Jo Sung Woo. I think Jun Sung Woo. At the end of the day, we get to see this badass who is like, everybody's like, man, this guy is the one punch man of the day, and we get to enjoy his journey. Through all of the things he goes through with all the characters and so on and so forth. Like, right now, have you guys noticed, like, you don't even feel like as if an S-rank character is really an S-rank character. What's the difference between a B-rank character, A-class character, and S-rank character? These characters look like as if they're just paper washed or just plain papers. I don't even understand where their strengths are. Many of them just feel like as if they're just nobodies. Nobody's just filling up the story. And this is the thing that pisses me off, because I know each of these characters have something that they bring or could have brought to the table. And this so-called MC is making them look like as if they're just chumps, just twiddling their thumbs at every time, just sitting down doing nothing. And we all know that everywhere around the city, dungeons are opening up, people are dying, people are going in there, healers are doing what they're supposed to be doing, tankers, mages. You have all these people walking left and right. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not trying to sit down here and say, let the story take away from the MC. Don't get me wrong here. But the thing about it is that we have come across so many good C characters, B characters, A characters, S characters. And during all this period in which this John Woo, the MC guy, is actually growing, we could have met all these people and seen how they struggle through all these missions, and seen how he, in so many missions, is now getting his XP and is not trying to figure things out as he moves along. Sure, we know there's an emergency with his mom, who is in a sleepless disease or whatever it is, the everlasting sleep or whatever it is. I can understand, and that there may have been a rush for that. But in the possibility of her dying would have also given him motivation to keep pushing forward, because he has a sister now to look after. He's all alone. He's an orphan. With so much responsibility, he has to win. He has to push. He has to do certain things. Not because of his mother is sick and that's why he's trying to do all this nonsense. No. But because he has to feed his family. He has to deal with paying the bills. He has to make sure his sister is going to school and eating properly. Problems all around him, economy, so on and so forth, issues, neighbors. Like, there is so many places in which they could have tackled. And there was nothing. Just from one dungeon to the other dungeon, with him putting his hands in his pocket and taking care of things like a G. Like, this is just ridiculous at this point. So many bad characters, we could have seen them doing what they were supposed to do. You know? Bad guys, doing things, operating in certain ways, PKRs, and so on and so forth. These people are all operating all within this system. We could have been given a proper lay work. And in the middle of it, they're tossing out the tidbits for all these so-called maybe new characters that may be coming up, the real bad guys that may be coming up. They're working in the background, doing certain things, and we don't even know about it. I mean, yeah, we know about it, but it almost looks like as if they're in a different realm or something. Working in the background. That means we know that this character, which is the MC John Woo, Jean Jin Woo or Johnson Woo, is working towards all of this, and we know what's coming. Winter is coming, and he is working hard to do all of these things. Now, in as much as the S rank are concerned, man, they are real tough guys. Let's just put them out there. They are real tough guys, and in that process, we say, okay, maybe John Woo's character is not really that important, but we can understand his journey. And then hopefully, maybe towards the ending, when he has surpassed S characters, and then we see his full growth, that he's ready to take on these bad guys whom these are S characters are not capable of doing it. And meanwhile, they have blown up the S characters like as if they are larger than life. And then maybe at the end, we begin to see them as, okay, these guys are just chumps now. But the way they're moving with Johnson Woo, the MC, I just call him the MC, it's like, even right now, the A characters don't feel right anymore. If the A characters feel so weak, I mean, what are they going to do with the S characters? They're going to even make them even weaker. And I can even feel as if they're even weaker now. Weak. And that's not cool. That's not cool. You power spike this guy so fast, and then now you're running out of stories. And that leads me to the other part, which is the story now feels repetitive. I can feel the repetitive nature of this story, which means the way I'm looking at it is Johnson Woo, or Junson Woo, or whatever his name is, just like almost when they about to be when the people in the dungeon is about to be killed, he's gonna go ahead and just appear miraculously and saves all their lives, and nobody dies. Or maybe a couple of people who straight away will die, but the people who are about to die in that period in which he shows up like a bad guy, like the tough guy situation, are all saved. And there's just nothing there. And I don't know what to say. The story, like, I can respect that the story doesn't have comedy, and which personally I wish, like the way it is, without all comedy or whatever it is, I like that. It's very serious. It takes itself serious. But in taking yourself serious, I needed to see a couple of things. I needed to see blood. I needed to see slow growth. I needed to see a character that could die at any moment, still struggling to get stuff done. At this point, I don't even see any reason of having healers. Healers are almost trash now. Like, I don't see the point of them. They're useless. I mean, in the beginning, we felt like, a healer of a certain caliber was like really, really important. Just like, I think is it Gringa or is it Grinja? I forgot what it was. Where, a couple of heroes were tackling dungeons, but they were tackling dungeons in a manner in which their healer was in front, always fighting in front of them. And only after their healer had died did they realize the great importance of a healer. Then they knew, oh snap, we need to protect our healer at all costs, because this guy know how to kill healers. In this show, you don't feel like as if healers are even important anymore. Past the first couple of episodes, you feel as if healers are trash, like they're not even needed. And then you have this aspect where a character comes into the MC's life, and then all of a sudden the woman disappears. The B-ranked healer disappeared. The what was this little girl that is underage that came into his life disappeared. His sister is barely there. What other female person again. Like, there's so much, and I'm even thinking that even the A rank healer, A rank fighter, I think that she's a frontline fighter, is also going to come into his life, and then she'll just disappear. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. You know? So, for me, the way this thing is structured is just, it's bad. It's just totally bad. And because of the way they've made healers look, and they've made this character, continue to overcome challenges, I don't fear the character being dead anymore. At this point in time, it feels like, okay, he sees the bad guy, he kills the bad guy, and he moves on, and he does it in a cool manner, and then that's it. That's it. That's it. Repetitive, like that. I see the bad guy, I kill the bad guy, and then that's it. Just look at the dungeon run. Look at the 100 level dungeon run, and tell me you didn't see the repetitive nature of the whole cycle. That's a crying shame, in my personal opinion, man. That was just a crying shame. And he's not done with the 100 level dungeon. I don't think he's finished with it. Is he finished with it? I don't think he's finished with it yet. I think he is. Did he? I don't know. Anyway, the 100 level dungeon, I think he's still working on it. I think he's somewhere close to the end of that 100-meter dungeon, because I think the last time he dealt with the dungeon, the boss was just sitting on a chair, and he turned around and said, "Nani?" And and the MC just cut off his head. I'm like, what the point of a boss? Like, in a video game, when you're playing a boss, especially in dungeon boss, like, you know what's up. You're gonna grind, get all your health aids up. You're gonna keep pushing. That boss will feel like a boss. There's no boss I have really gone to go and fight, and the boss just sits down there and just says, "Nani?" While, like, no. And let's just say it's the beginning boss. Okay, I can understand. If it's the beginning boss, I can respect that. But at a high level boss, level 60, level boss, are you just gonna sit down there chilling and then allow the main character to just cut your head off in one blow? I mean, I don't know about that one. But anyway, I think the manga person was sleeping that day. And then I heard a really bad news. I recently heard this news that the person who actually was responsible for this solo leveling is dead. I didn't even know that the guy was dead. I didn't even know, like, what is going on with all the great writers? From Berserk, Naruto, and there's someone with the solo. Like, why are they all dying? What is going on here? This is ridiculous, man. We need great characters and great writers, man, but we cannot continue to do this, man. We really cannot do it. We cannot continue this nonsense. We cannot do this. But then again, let's look at it this way. Maybe, just maybe, when a writer or a mangaka or a mangako, whatever it is, starts writing something, they use it under a pseudonym. Okay, maybe a writer pseudonym or mangaka pseudonym or whatever it is, and then they kill that mangaka pseudonym character and then use a new name, and they say that character's name is dead or whatever it is, and then we think that the author is already dead, but the author was simply a ghost or whatever it is, and they say, oh, this ghost is dead, and then boom, that's it. I don't know, but I'm going to look into it more about who the creator is, and see what actually transpired, because it's just something I just found out not too long before I started filming, before I started writing this lesson. So yeah, anyway, I just want to just pour my heart out at this time. I think I'm a bleeding heart at this point, because for me, seeing solo leveling was a great opportunity to write a great story. It was an opportunity for people to base a lot of things on a backbone, a cemented bone that somebody had already created. This guy had already laid the pipe from which we could all kind of like start burying all kinds of things on that pipeline, but we failed. I mean, the studio basically dropped the ball on this by just going from one manga to another manga to another manga, and for me, it really pisses me off. It's not the best way to do things, and right now, it's ruined my whole experience with Solo Leveling. I know Solo Leveling could have been better. It's just unfortunate that we are wasting this opportunity right now, the way it is. So, guys, whatever your comment is, please put it down below. Let's discuss this. Let's try and see where I may have gone wrong, or wherever you feel you're gonna feel enlightened by what I've said so far. So until I see you guys on the next episode, you guys take it easy. All right, it's your guy, 5 minutes or less, signing out. Peace out, guys.